How fitting. On Valentine's Day of 1988, born and raised in the crazy capital of Texas, Dallas, resides a man who identified his sound using an 8-string guitar, a MIDI keyboard, and a whole lot of distortion. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Hulshult.
This gentleman right here, he's better known for the boomer shooter categories of games. That's where he shines in terms of composition. But let's run the clock back a spell. I want to see, what did he accomplish before becoming a video game composer? Well, before composing video games, Andrew here was making tunes around 2004, give or take. He was in a band called Burying the Trend. They made 2 albums, one in 08 and another in 11. I'll have to listen to these and see how they fare, considering I have some metal knowledge.
How the fuck?
Okay, now, finding these songs was not easy, go figure. That's what happens when you have a microscopic indie band that haven't been around for that long, and so there's not really a lot of archives out there. What I was able to find, well...
Now for the first track I managed to find, titled Whore. That's about a 6. It's fine, I don't mind it. Next track I managed to find, Out of Time, that's about a 5. Not really that special, it's fine, but nothing too crazy. The other tracks I managed to find, Kill the Honor and Suicidal, that's about, I gave those like a 7. I like those the most. So from what I could find, I guess they're decent for what they were at the time, and from what I could find.
Well, that's something, isn't it? This is the first time I talked about a composer who's been in a band before. Well, after that venture, Andrew decided to work on video game soundtracks. Quite awesome. He tried to shoot his shot in the industry with an upcoming Duke Nukem remake called Duke Nukem Reloaded. Well, damn, working on a recognizable IP off the rip? Well, go knock him down. The game got canceled. You can't win them all, but defeat wasn't an option just yet. You see, during development, he made several demo tracks for the game. These demos impressed Interceptor's Entertainment CEO, Frederick. Yeah, so much so that when Rise of the Triads was getting a reboot in 2013, Frederick decided to put Andrew on the project, and the rest is history. During that time, he made an anthology soundtrack for various 3D Realm games. After a while, a little something happened. Nothing major, it was oh yeah, Brutal Doom.
Fuck yourself!
Keep in mind, I'm only reviewing his work from games that I've played. That doesn't mean you should skip his other projects. I mean, listen to the Bombshell OST. That shit is fire. However, that didn't put him on the map. IDKFA did. Even though this mod was created sometime around the 2010s, when Andrew decided to remake the OG Doom soundtrack, no one expected this level of raw talent and power from this man. He did this by himself. This was a one-guy thing. So much so that the creators of Brutal Doom decided to put some of his music in the mod in a later update. The performance in this soundtrack is just... I can't put it in the words. It's like playing Doom back in 1993 on DOS. Back then, I bet this is what it sounded like to people. It's just the most refined, polished, power thrashing sound. I just can't describe this auditory masterpiece that's gracing my ears. This is what Doom sounds like. This is what makes Doom, well, Doom. From the guitar, to the drums, to that bass, everything is just tight. Everything is just punchy, everything's just aggressive, and everything is just clean. Now, not to instigate some drama, I won't go into detail, but you know it's good. When some Doom fans said that this should have been used for Doom 2016 score instead of Mick Gordon's. That's all I'm saying. I'm not picking sides. I'm leaving it at that. So before I anger someone out there, I probably did. whatever. Listen, both of these composers are good. Andrew's remake is amazing, and it should not be overlooked. Well, after IDKFA, he went to compose the score for a game called Rad Rogers. Yeah, right. But after that, he composed one of the greatest original pieces of all time. I've been following this game for about 5 years now, and I'm talking about Dusk. Oh, the Dusk score. Oh, where do I begin? Firstly, Dusk is a cool game. Go play it. Secondly, this score, brother, this is where the yapping begins. It won't stop until a good few minutes. So if you're not interested in my mad ramblings, I do not care you clicked on the video. Now, let's just get this out the way. Atmosphere. The aesthetic of Dusk is very retro, boomer shooter-esque, so to capture this feeling, the vibe, the soundtrack, it has to reflect that. And Andrew knew this better than we could have ever imagined. So yeah, while this man can play a mean, diabolical guitar with adrenaline, when he decides to take a moment to slow it down, let the ambience just sing to you, next level. The use of the synths in this, the haunting choir chant in the background with each ambient track, the piano usage is just... like, these songs make you feel like you're in a ghost town that's been overtaken by cultists and reanimated demons. It's just so bleak, it's so mysterious. One of the songs he made is literally just another track reversed, yet it sounds like its own thing. How do you even do that? Now, that was just the ambient slow tracks. Don't get me started on the action tracks. I kind of started myself. I can only think of one word: violence. Pure, unadulterated violence. Like I said prior, if the ambience make you feel like you're in a ghost town, the battle tracks make you feel like you're unwelcome in this town, and the inhabitants want you dead, killed, disemboweled in front of your family type sound. You know what I mean? The guitar with the distortion sounding like a chain gun that's just mowing down cultists. The drums adding this extra bass with every kick on that bass drum, with extra flair from that cymbal. And not to mention the bass itself. My God! I feel like I could break down the album in of itself. But if I did, this video would be an hour long. So, on screen, I recommend these tracks. However, besides this, I urge you just to buy the game and listen to these tracks in game. The energy with the context given from these songs, it will heighten your enjoyment. And that's on my soul, trust me. Now, it'd be rude to call this his magnum opus, bruh. But I mean it when I say it. Without a doubt, this is some of his best work. And would you believe me if I said I wanted this OST on a record vinyl about 3 or so years ago? And to my utter shock, they finally decided to create it. You can bet your ass I pre-ordered. And now I just have to wait. That's the hard part. I can just talk about Andrew's other projects while I wait. So there's Advent Evil, Nightmare Reaper, Wraith. I didn't play these. I can't do any disservice. So here's some songs I think are just real standouts. Now let's move on to the real deal, the craziest of them all, Andrew composing for id Software. But before I do that, let's talk about Proteus. Now, sometime around 2020, there was an indie game called Proteus, which was an FPS boomer shooter inspired by the likes of Quake, Doom. Side tangent a bit. I don't vibe with this game. I like the game, but at the same time, I don't like the game. It looks good. The gameplay's smooth. It's just a bit boring. Regardless about my thoughts on the gameplay itself, what about the soundtrack? That's what this is about. Because Andrew composed it. Before I can talk about that, I just want to talk about the setting. It's like a space environment type thing with heavy machinery everywhere, electronics here, electronics there, very futuristic. Now, if the game looks like this, you bet your ass it has to sound like it. And Andrew made sure the music sounded like it. The synth used here, accompanied by the guitar, it gives this soundtrack the feeling of being in a industrial environment. There's like heavy machinery, it just came alive and wants to kill you. The violent aggression you hear from these electronic beeps and boops. There's this one track technological terror. Around like 1 minute and 12 seconds in, you hear like this jet-like guitar with that bass, the drum, and there's this high-pitched screeching from the synth. It sounds like some massive drill just drilling into your cranium.
This is my rifle.
Get the fuck out.
This is my...
That feeling of being in a tech factory that just wants you dead is present in this track, and tracks like this, like CPU, there's hotspot, cables, and chaos, which the name implies is chaos. My personal recommendation, Nether. Now, Proteus does have user-created levels, so maybe they can make this game more fun. Give it a shot. It just deserves better, so... Anyway, on to Doom. So, as I stated in the Mick Gordon video, id Software dropped Mick Gordon as Doom Eternal's composer. Very tragic. The problem is that this game had DLC on the way, so they needed a composer to fill Mick's place. id Software reached out to two people to take his place. David Levy, great guy by the way, and the person I spent the last few minutes talking about. Now, you see here, Andrew made IDKFA. He has some experience. He knows how to make music sound like Doom. So, how did it fare? Well, the Ancient Gods Part 1 knocked it out the fucking park. The Blood Swamps. This track right here, this was the one that did it for me. You got the gent, the bass, the drums, the harmonizing vocals in the background, because they gave these guys access to Mick's old chanting folder. And Andrew, you best believe he utilized it to the very best. I never heard such an evil sound quite like this. The Halt. Now, remember how I said Proteus sounded like heavy machinery trying to kill you? Well, take that sound profile, change it machines to like corrupted angels, add some extra synth to make it heavy. No guitar, by the way, just all synth. And it's the heaviest thing you'll ever hear. The other two tracks were made by David. I might have to make a video on him at some point. Besides that, yeah, these tracks were fire. The Ancient Gods Part 2, it felt a little samey, just a bit. However, besides that, there's this one boss track, Davoth. It's the best fucking one. It sounds like war drums are just going off in the background. The first phase of the song, like around 2 minutes in, is just... And later on in the song, it's just like it's just a fucking shame. It's a crime even that these two DLCs never got an official soundtrack release. But given how they handled Mick and Doom Eternal's OST, it's probably for the best. Well, Andrew got into Doom, so that's good, right? Technically, he was already in Doom Eternal, courtesy of the in-game records. What song? The Quake Champions OST. He worked on that too. Keep in mind, I am limited to the soundtracks I can talk about. I haven't played all the games he worked on. I know I'm missing a bunch of bangers. I apologize. However, there is one song that was going to be added to something, but he missed the window. Now, on November 30th, 2022, CD Projekt Red posted a contest for indie musicians to get their music in the game. It was for Growl FM. It was going to be for their expansion pack, Phantom Liberty, or something like that. Andrew himself participated in this contest. However, he misread the entry form. You see, the deadline was in CD Red's time zone, not America time zone, so he missed the deadline. The song itself, called Black Lace, is about the in-game drug. If you didn't think this guy was in a band before, this song will convince you.
No God, no fears, I'll live 1,000 years. I want you to sell my soul, lose control.
Now, I don't play Cyberpunk, but if I did, I'd mod this song or find a way to get this song into the game, and that is a fact. Well, besides a couple games I didn't play, he also did the OST to a game called Tokyo Underground Killer. I did play that, 30 minutes of it. I didn't. I need to play more of it, but from what I can remember, it sounds like Oriental with some synth action. I can't wait to listen to that. Iron Lung, yeah, that's getting a movie next year. It's dropping next year, so he composed that. I might go watch that to see what he cooked. Other than that, yeah, I guess that's it. So Andrew Hulshult, from MySpace metal band to having his music featured on the big screen, this man truly had a humble beginning. He can go from violent gent to atmospheric on the fly, usually in the same song. He's been around for a while, but kept it under wraps, usually dropping side projects here and there or working on small indie games, but his work is finally getting recognized. So what's he doing now? Whatever work comes his way, so I will be waiting to hear it. Go give his music a listen, check out the games he composed, probably watch Iron Lung when it comes out. I said all I could say, so let's go see what you like.
Someone is trying to pursue similar ventures. What can I do to get my name out there? Just create quality stuff.
Andrew in the trash can.